What's up, guys? You are on the air and off the books with Beth Ann and Samantha, and today we are going to be talking about book 5, right? 4. Just kidding. Book 4 of the Josie Quinn series. This one is called Her Final Confession, and this one goes in depth about her partner, Gretchen.
Yes.
And
we were just introduced to in the last book.
Yes.
Like that was really fast comeuppance.
Yeah, she's the mystery of this book. So basically, what it's about is they get a call to Gretchen's house, and this kid has been shot in the back outside her house.
Yes.
And he's got, a picture of some dude in his pocket?
Pinned to his shirt.
Yeah.
And Gretchen is missing.
Yes.
Her cop car is missing.
Yes.
There's been almost no disturbance in the house, and they can't find her.
Right.
And so now all of a sudden, the new chief, because she's not interim chief anymore.
She tapped out.
She did. He wants to put out an arrest warrant for Gretchen, but Josie is sure as heck that
Gretchen wouldn't do it.
Gretchen would not do it, because last book, also spoilers if you haven't read the series, they had this deep connection with abusive mothers. And
yes.
So she has this tie to Gretchen that nobody else understands. So she just feels in her gut that Gretchen couldn't have murdered this boy. And at the same time this is happening, then there is a monologue almost every other chapter, and then it skips less to every...
Right.
I gotta be careful because I'm getting dialogue mixed up between two books that we just read.
Yeah.
It ended up actually, unbeknownst to us, being about almost the same exact thing.
Yeah, they're very similar.
They are very similar.
But... So basically, they find out that, Gretchen used to be in this, biker gang.
Yes.
Pretty much.
So, this is where you have to stop, because we're about to do, this big summary of this book. But if you've been with us this long, you really like the series, you're reading it, so...
Yes.
So, she's in this biker gang called the Devil's Blades.
Yes.
And it's a gang that goes to war with, and this is all on the East Coast, it's a gang that goes to war with... another a rival gang called the Aces.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is a big secret because Gretchen doesn't tell anybody about her life, right? So nobody, even her last partner in her job, he didn't know anything about her. And I guess the big hint is that Gretchen wears this biker jacket.
Right.
Obviously, because of the Devil's Blade. But the problem is that the first whole half of the book, Josie can't find her.
Yeah.
And she finds no information. I mean, it's literally a truck through the mud trying to figure out what's going on with Gretchen. And Josie and Noah can't find anything. And Noah kind of believes that she did it, which kind of annoys me a little bit.
Yeah, he was very quick to be yeah, let's just put the blame on Gretchen.
Yes, and he was just let her own up to what she said she did. We don't know anything about Gretchen. And, he wouldn't even trust Josie, which I found that kind of hard to believe because of, their relationship thus far. So it was kind of irritating to me that he wasn't supporting her. So I feel that was kind of just, I don't know. I didn't love this book as much as I loved the other 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
I liked it. I liked it more towards the ending, but the first 3 were definitely better.
Much better. And I will say that I did come up with the answer before the end of this book.
Oh, you really did?
I really did.
I was really lost. I did not know who was going to be the culprit. And
oh, really?
No, I did not.
I figured it out. That's my problem, is I feel these other ones have been so twisty.
Yeah.
And so, convoluted that I feel I shouldn't have been able to figure that out so easily.
Well, I think the problem for me was there was so many characters.
But they were unnecessary.
Yeah. There were so many, side characters that didn't need to be in the book, and I was okay, I'm forgetting, who's who and who's connected to what.
Right, because I feel they threw Trinity in, her twin sister, if you didn't know, another spoiler.
Yeah, that was from the last book.
Yeah, that was from the last book. Just to have her in there, I think. But that was, like, because she was in there and they were talking about epigenetics the entire time. Like, I couldn't not think that she had twins. But my other annoyance is that Josie is a twin, but then Gretchen has twins. It's like the author is really doubling up on themes.
Right.
It's very odd that, to me, that Josie would be a twin and Gretchen had twins in secret.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so anyway, let's probably explain the book to you. So Gretchen's arrested, right? And then come to find out that the soulmate strangler serial killer resurfaces after 25 years being undercover. And at first, there's literally zero connection. Like, you can't even anticipate that there's a connection because you literally find out nothing in the first half of the book. Then all of a sudden, Gretchen turns herself in to the police after being missing for a couple days. She won't talk. She confesses to this kid's murder. Josie doesn't believe her. Everybody's mad. So she decides she's going to meet up with a couple of her former colleagues. So she meets up with her last, what is it called? Her last partner. And he talks about her jacket and says, and this is where she gets the hint that she was part of, she worked a case and closed a case for 2 murders of the Devil's Blade, and she got justice for their killers. And then she goes and finds an undercover agent. I think it's an ATF agent, they said.
Yeah.
And he is part of the Devil's Blade, and he's been like, what do they call it? What was the word? Pushed in or something like that?
Initiated
Initiated would
grandfathered?
Be my word. Right, like they have to do all of these things, but he's an undercover cop, but he's part of this gang for intel. And that's his whole role as a cop. Well, it turns out Gretchen's husband, when she was young, they were married for like 2 to 4 years, I can't remember, and he was going to be initiated into the Devil's Blade. He was almost in. He was an undercover cop. They loved each other, like star-crossed lover kind of situation. And then one night, he realizes his knife that he laid down on the table is missing. And then the soulmate strangler appears, raping Gretchen, killing Billy, her husband, and then she gets away.
Yeah.
Shocker, surprise.
I will say that I liked the soulmate strangler story because, like, I was trying to figure out when he was, because he would leave a piece of evidence from his last murder.
Yes.
At the next murder.
Yeah.
So, like, when he killed when he killed Gretchen's husband, he left evidence from the murder before. So I liked
like a
connecting
or something like that.
Yeah, and so I was like trying to like figure out that and connect that, and I did like that part. But continue.
Yeah, and then because he took Gretchen's husband's knife, he left that at the next murder.
Yes.
Which was his last for a while. And then when he killed what he thought was Gretchen and his son, because she did get pregnant after she went through her trauma.
Yes.
And she went into hiding with the Devil's Blade so that he couldn't get to her because he was trying to kill her.
Right.
He left the picture that he had taken from that last crime scene there. That's why they couldn't piece it together, which I thought was really clever. I did like that.
Yeah.
But, in the middle of that, we find out that Gretchen actually had twins, and that's why she needed more time. She was trying to protect her kids, sending them to the Devil's Blade like she was kept there.
Which is crazy to me because, like, you would think she would feel like not very connected to her kids, because they came from her trauma, but
right.
It was
very interesting because I've read a lot of like real
trigger
stories
warnings
about that. Yeah, this is definitely one of those. If you don't like things like that, then definitely don't pick this book up. I mean, it's not graphic or anything.
No.
But it's still enough to be like, ooh, that's rough. Because, she was so traumatized that she was scared. She's a cop, and she was scared to even
confess
him or
that she didn't do it.
Right, because
Yeah.
she thought that he would get her anyway.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't found him in like 25 years and all his murders and everything that he had done. And she even like had the children and then left them immediately at the hospital. Like she didn't even have them under her real name.
Right.
So.
Which is understandable in her situation.
Right. But you're right, like the connection that she had to try to protect them with everything she had but I guess everything that she did from the point of their birth on, or before their birth on, because I think what sent her into hiding with the Devil's Blade is that she knew that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And she knew that it wasn't Billy's because they had been married and they'd never gotten pregnant since they'd been married.
Right.
It makes that statement in the book. And she didn't want, at that point, she said it was one thing for him to come and, like, murder me, but for him to come and murder my children was a whole different thing. And she was also really scared about them looking like him and, like, being like him.
Right.
In some kind of a way. I just didn't like at the end how when they were reunited for the first time, like, we didn't really get to see much of the biker gang. I thought that was the most interesting part of the story. I didn't get to hear a lot about like her involvement with them, her like protection. She never got her jacket back. I don't know what even happened to that jacket.
Yeah, I don't remember if they said anything about that.
They said that she lost it, but I don't know where it could have went. Like,
maybe it's gonna be in another book. Maybe it's gonna be a twist plot in another book.
I mean, that would be nice. It would kind of redeem this book a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
So it's not horrible. I'm not saying
it really does pick up like towards like the last 3/4 of the book, or the last 1/4 of the book.
Oh yeah, it like flies.
Yeah.
But the problem is the first whole half
is very like
it's so dry.
Very backstory and very slow going.
And I feel like it's not even backstory because we literally learned nothing about her.
Yeah. It was like a slow backstory.
Yeah. I would recommend reading it to continue on the story because I think the next one is going to be better. I guess book 5 is about Noah, her boyfriend now, and finally their relationship takes off, which was so annoying. That was so annoying.
Yeah.
But his mother comes up dead.
Yep. And I started reading that a couple months ago, but I've read 40,000 books since then, so I need to restart.
What I'm wondering is if she even ends up staying with him at all. Because, like, I've looked through all, like, the summaries of, like, the next, like, 6 books. And he's, like, nowhere.
Oh, so, I wonder if he dies.
He dies or he, like, quits and, like, leaves and never comes back. Or, like, he isn't who he says he is again and, like...
Yeah.
She just ends up being alone for the rest of the... But my thing is, like, how much trauma can happen to one person? Like, she's, like...
I don't know.
Her mother was abusive. Her cop friend, like, committed a crime and he cheated. Her husband cheated. And he, like, messed up real bad in, like, this, like, girl ring. And then, like, she has to, like, take care of her, like, cheating husband's wife.
And her nephew.
Her son, nephew, etc. thing. And then, like... I don't know. And then what else happens? Like, so much happens. And then Gretchen gets stolen. And now Noah's mom is dying. Like, this
It's like Criminal Minds. All the drama.
All of this happened in one small town to this one person.
But think of how exciting your life would be.
Oh my gosh, exciting? Is that the word? Is that what you use?
Yeah.
It was really good, but and I would recommend that you read it.
Yes, we can't say that you could skip it because what if there's a connection?
Well, it's crucial. You know? I mean, I still would recommend highly Lisa Reagan's books. I like them.
Yes. And I think that we do have them at the library.
We have, yes. So you can't get them on Hoopla or Overdrive, but we do have the physical copies in the library for you.
Yes.
I read mine online. I purchased mine a while ago. The problem with this book is it took me like 3 or 4 months to read it because it was so slow.
Yeah. She did take forever.
I really did. But it wasn't bad. It was just...
slow.
Not what I expected. It was slow, yeah.
All right. Well, you guys should come to the library, check the book out, put it on hold if somebody already has it checked out, and then you should read it and tell us what you think. You can email us at offthebooks@khcpl.org. And we hope you guys have a good rest of the day and join us next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.